we are live. We are live. We are live. I'm Michael from the Game Boys.
I'm Chris from the Game Boys.
And we are starting with the biggest news in gaming right now. That's right. We're getting straight to it.
Yeah, we're going right in. Okay.
We're going to go right in here. And this is the hottest news throughout the whole gaming week. And I think we can both agree on this. All right.
All right.
Diablo 4 devs are confident, quote unquote, the game's launch will go according to plan. Huge.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Now, does that mean what does according to plan mean?
Well, here's the thing, Chris. It means that magically the online servers will stay on.
Okay.
There will be no loading queue.
Perfect.
You just get in and you go.
All right. That's what I like to hear. I'm sure there will be no issues with that whatsoever.
No.
No.
Why
literally
would
none.
there be?
Literally none. It's because they have a really good track record of just having everything work straight out of the gate.
They do. They do have an amazing track record on it.
Look at Bethesda. Everything just works.
And that's the beauty of God Howard. Yeah, so that's the biggest gaming news. That's all we're going to talk about on this week's episode.
All right, are we done? Can I go home?
No. I mean, we're going to go in depth on this. All right. Let's break down the word Diablo. What do you think that means?
I don't know. I don't speak whatever language they pulled that word from, but I think it means D, as in D's nuts. Ob, as in baby, this is going to be a good game. And low, as in the scores are definitely not going to be low. They're going to be high. I think that's how this word breaks down.
Now, IV, do you think like we're going to the hospital in this one?
Could be, because the game is so good. They're going to inject you with food so you never have to leave your couch to stop playing the game. It's just going to be that amazing.
I mean, as long as they don't make us trip with science.
Trick with science, bro. And they put science in me. But they're not going to put science in you. That's the problem.
I don't want them to put science in me.
Then you can't play the game because they put science in you.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Well, what you can do is wait for them to be purchased entirely by Microsoft and then see if the game improves over time, because Microsoft as well has an amazing track record with launch games.
They do. Actually, they do. I mean, look at Redfall.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite.
Halo 4 or 5. 5.
Yeah. Yes.
5.
Both. Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3. That's true. That's true.
Perfect
Fable.
Game. Oh, masterpiece.
Fable.
Do you know Peter Molyneux was the original God Howard? Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. Everything he said was 100% true and sacrosanct. No one ever questioned it.
So, but he was just a prophet, though. He wasn't actually God Howard.
Right. He walked so God Howard could run. That's
wait. God Howard could walk and run. So,
well, he can also sprint. I don't know.
Yes, that's true. But he can also walk very fast,
and he can also slow down.
Yes, and he can jaunt,
and he can stop.
He can do everything, man.
He is. There's a reason he's God Howard. There's a reason. What he can't do. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when he gets over encumbered, he can still fast travel.
Whoa! I didn't think that was possible by anybody, but God Howard can do it. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the savior. God Howard. But there is one thing you can't do. There's one thing you can't do, which is avoid being bought by Microsoft.
Well, I mean, he wanted that to happen. He made it happen.
Did he? Did he want that to happen?
Oh, no, he definitely did. I mean, Scott Howard, whatever he wants goes.
Explain to me how that came about and why he wanted to be purchased by Microsoft.
So think of it this way, right?
I'm listening. Okay. Right.
You see one of your faithful brethren, all right, one of your faithful disciples on hard times. And they come to you and they're like, hey, if I donate to you, AKA buy you out, can you save me? I mean, that's all the church does, if you think about it.
That's true.
And so that's what God Howard did. He's like, fine, yeah, if you're willing to, I'll save you.
Okay,
and he is.
Who was his disciple at the time?
Right. Well, you had Matthew. Don't know if you know the big game developer Matthew.
I do not, but now I do.
The big game developer Mark. Don't know if you know Mark.
I don't, but now I do.
Luke was one of them as well,
I do know Luke. Luke Skywalker I'm familiar with.
and John. So
Interesting. Okay, John.
his disciples. Yeah.
Okay. All right, like John Rambo.
Yeah. There's also Disciple Duke, Disciple Doom,
Guy.
and it's kind of
Disciple.
I mean, those are some of his disciples. Just some.
Disciple Chief. Let's not forget about him as well.
Yes, Disciple Chief. A lot of good disciples, man. A lot of good disciples. You know?
A lot of good people he had under his wing at that time. That he still does, I believe.
He does. He's retained all of them.
Good for him.
Right?
But anyway, so now that he willingly invited Microsoft to be part of the Bethesda family and not the other way around.
No, not the other way around.
No. Are you at all concerned that Microsoft is now getting one step closer to purchasing Activision, and therefore Bethesda might be second on the ladder, so to speak?
Why would it be second on the ladder? They're obviously going to bring them in under Bethesda, so God Howard can watch over them as well.
You see, this is the things I ask you about because I don't know. I feel like I'm left out of the loop all the time on gaming news, and you're always there to let me in. I appreciate that.
Chris, you know what's the best way you can actually get your gaming news?
What's that?
Is you subscribe to the Game Boys Patreon.
No way.
Yes. Did you know, Chris, for as little as $3 a month, you can get some amazing exclusive pictures, i.e. NFTs?
What are NFTs, Mike?
NFTs are non-fungible tokens. I know what you're thinking. A non-fungible token is behind a blockchain, right?
Right.
And you need technology for that, right?
Sure.
Well, this is a non-fungible token.
Are you telling me?
Means
are you telling me I don't need technology to access the non-fungible token?
You don't. All you need is your computer, a mouse, right click, and save.
And then I can keep it forever with no consequences.
No technology needed.
Oh my, I love the future. The future's great.
The future loves you. Remember, as little as $3 a month, you can subscribe to the Game Boys Patreon.
But if you want to be a big boy, you can do $20 a month and get the Super Game Boy Advance Edition, where not only can you be on the podcast whenever you want, you can also suggest ideas to us whenever you want, and we will maybe do them. Think about that.
That's true. But, there's something else, Chris. Let's say you can't exactly afford $20 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can drop down to $10 a month to the Game Boys SP level.
Oh, my God.
So you'll get early access to videos, podcasts. Maybe I kind of got to figure that out, but whatever. And you still get your exclusive images. Plus, now we'll shout your name on videos, and you can get invited to our Discord, which we still haven't made. If we ever make merch, Chris, they'll get 10% off.
Whoa,
and that's all for $10 a month.
Do you know how to set that up?
So Microsoft got approved by the EU.
Yeah, Microsoft. For breaking news. Only covered here. Literally, no one else has covered this. Microsoft has been approved by the EU for the merger for them and Activision Blizzard, and that is a big deal. Except it's not, because this is just one hurdle that they have to overcome.
It's true,
because they have been denied the merger by one of the governing bodies of the UK, and they're submitting an appeal to them right now.
Thanks, Brexit.
And from what I understand, the appeal only happens a third of the time. So they have a one-third chance of getting that appeal to work.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah! That's exactly what I'm saying.
And I don't know if anything's happened in the US, has it?
I don't think so. I don't think anything has happened yet. I would be surprised if the merger doesn't go through, though, for the US side of things, but who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
So, I know nothing about finance stuff. Do you?
I am the CFO.
Okay. So that's the CFO. If they get approved in both the European Union and United States, but not Britain, what does that mean? They just can't sell their games in Britain? Like what?
It It means that everybody at the company is still allowed to have good teeth. That's really all it means.
So it might be worth it not to get approved in Britain.
Yeah, honestly, it's better for them if they don't get approved because then they can actually smile on camera and be proud of it.
Right?
I don't know if you know this. If you ever watch any British television show, no one opens their mouth.
It's true.
They're
It's
all
true.
ashamed.
No one speaks, actually.
Yeah, it's all silent television because everyone's ashamed.
It is. It's
And I don't
very
blame
silent.
them. I don't know why they just haven't invented dentists yet. It's wild.
Because dentistry is a very non-British thing. So
They survived the medieval times without dentists, and god damn it, they're going to continue.
That's true. They stick to what they know, man.
God bless them. I mean, tea and crumpets are great, but other than that, they don't. I guess they have Big Ben, but whatever. Who cares about Big Ben? It's all about
Big
Little Ben. Now.
More like Big Ben 10.
Fucking got them, man. They will literally never recover. They're dead. They will never recover.
It's worse than that scene in James Bond where they blow up the government building.
Which James Bond? There's like 20 of them.
Just one of those James Bonds.
I don't. Which James Bond did the Queen die?
Maybe was it the Queen? It was one of the. It might have been the MI6 building.
I'm gonna say that no James Bond has a movie where the Queen dies. I'm just gonna go out.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe, but it was like a major government building got exploded.
Was it MI6?
It might have been MI6 building.
Was it MI5?
It was the last one with Judi Dench in it. So
Skyfall, which I say is a fucking overrated movie. I don't care. I don't care for that movie. I think that it's not a bad movie, but everyone blows it out of proportion. It's like, oh, it's the best Bond. Fuck you. It's not the best Bond movie. Fuck you. You're muted, Mike. So let me go on a quick tangent about why Skyfall is not the best Bond movie. Because when I go to watch a Bond movie, I want babes, I want cars, and I want action. Skyfall had one of those things. And unless you count Judi Dench as a babe, it definitely didn't have babes. And action it had, but cars, I didn't see a whole lot of cars. I don't know about you. So really the movie gets a 1 out of 3. And on the star scale, it gets 0 stars. Literally unwatchable. You're still muted, Mike. I don't know if you know that. But Mike, if you don't say anything, I'm assuming you agree with me.
I mean, I might.
There you go. But you didn't not say anything. Therefore, you because you responded, you don't agree with me. So why don't you agree with me?
Shit.
And why do you think Skyfall is the best Bond movie?
All right. Let me break this down on the star scale.
All right, I'm listening.
1 star. Would watch.
Right.
And then, if you want the bonus scale, I can give you the bonus scale, man.
Well, I need to know why it's the best Bond movie. So yeah, please.
All right. Got to think about this a little bit. Hold on. Let me take a sip.
You don't want to fuck this up because it is set in stone.
Let me take a sip. I give it 83 bear traps.
Damn, okay.
Out of 416 divided by 28, multiplied by 7, carry over the 2, and subtract 12. Donut munchies.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That's not just the best Bond movie. That's the best movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Why do you think it's that good?
Okay, I'll give you a couple of reasons. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
1, it's got Sky in the name. Who doesn't love skies? You know?
I mean, look at Skyrim.
And I'm not going to lie, the whole movie, there's a lot of sky in that movie. You can see it in the frame a lot.
That's crazy.
So it lives up to its name.
That's
but
true.
Then,
not false advertising.
The second part is fall. And guess what James Bond does a lot in this? He falls from things. So the title is like 100%, a million trillion % accurate. All right.
Can't argue with that.
Then it opens with Adele, who I don't know if you know that, but she's part PC. So
I always prefer to Mac myself, but I get where you're coming from.
I'm just saying, man, she's at least part PC, which is something gaming related, right? So you're already off to a great start. It's a video game movie. Okay.
Right.
But not only that, you remember the, 007 GoldenEye games?
Who can forget? They're the best.
And you know how he like James Bond be in a suit or tux sometimes and have like a pistol and stuff?
Yeah.
The movie does that. It's just like the game.
What?
Yes.
I didn't even notice. Notice.
Oh, I'm telling you, dude. Oh, and. You ready for this?
Lay it on me.
You get the voice. Forgot the name of the ride, but the Epcot golf ball ride. You get the voice of that lady.
Wow. I never realized that.
What's the name of that fucking ride again?
Judy Dench? Oh, no. Mission Earth? Spaceship
Is
Earth?
it Mission
Spaceship
Earth?
Earth. Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth. There we go. Now it's the golf ball.
Yeah, I prefer to call it the golf ball as well because I don't know what that thing's supposed to be. I assume it's a golf ball because Disney was in.
It's a golf ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I mean, you have so many reasons to love that movie. It's probably the greatest.
Every reason you gave is why I hate it. Let me explain why. There was too much sky. I don't like when things have sky in the title, like No Man's Sky. Fuck that. I don't like when things fall. I want things to rise. I don't want to see things fall. I want to see things rise.
Okay.
I don't like that. And Spaceship Earth is one of the more boring rides in Disney World. So the fact that it reminds you of that ride is a bad thing.
You know what? I can see that. But we're both entitled to our opinions, and like we've said on one of the previous podcasts.
I apologize. I can't hear you, and I know that's coming on my end. So just give me 1 second. All right, can you talk again?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my fault. All
right, you're good. But as I was saying, as we've discussed on a previous podcast, this is why you and I's movie, tastes are so different.
Well, that's because mine is good and yours is bad. That's why they're so different.
Right, and that's why mine's superior, yours is inferior. So it makes sense.
I agree. Mine is the better taste and yours is the worst taste. I think we can all agree on that.
Right. Mine's number one and you're last. So I get it.
No, that's why I'm the best in the world and you're the worst in the world. Again, we all agree on this.
How's Tears of the Kingdom going?
It's very good. It's a very, very good game. I love it. It's one of these games that makes me really, really hate being an adult because I wake up in the morning and I have to get all my work out of the way, and then I can go play Tears of the Kingdom. And it's like I can't remember the last time I felt this way about a game where it's like I want to get up and just play, but I gotta get a bunch of bullshit out of the way first. And that actually kind of reminds me of being a kid because when I was a kid, I was like, I gotta go home and get all my homework out of the way and then play Tears of the Kingdom. So really, when it comes down to it, being an adult is exactly like being a kid, just with a little less free time. That's really the only difference.
Yeah, and you have to worry about bills. But other than that,
I mean, I don't worry about Bill Dauterive. All right, he's out in Texas doing his own thing. I handle my own shit. True. Bill can handle his own life. Well, then let me put it a different way. You got to worry about cheddar. No. I think you got to worry about cheese. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Yes, sorry. that you do have to worry about. That is true. Wait, as a kid, you didn't really have to worry about cheese. You only had to worry about cheddar. And you had a free crib. I mean, come on. Free crib. I miss the free crib. I want the free crib back. I do too. That was great times, man. It's great times. Every morning we wake up and be like, free crib. Is there a prisoner out there called Crib who were inadvertently demanding to be released? Free him. Free Crib right now. I still find it ridiculous that we started this in 2013. The Game Boys? Yeah. And we're just about to get to 2,000 subscribers. So, hit that subscribe button. I was watching Explained the other week. Explained. And they were going through Outlast, I think. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, we played that way back when. We were the ones that got that game popular. I don't think we ever beat it though, did we? No, I did, but we did not as a group. Right, but I remember it was you, me, and Broski. God rest Broski. Yeah, rip and pasta, Broski. Rip and pasta. Yeah, rip and steak. So when are you gonna play Tears of the Kingdom? So I'm currently trying to get through Engage right now, and I'm 42 hours into Engage total. Engage. You mean the Nokia Engage? Yes. Yeah. All right. Okay. Of course. And I keep getting reminded about something that I kind of forgot, which is, this may sound weird, but I'm coming for the three houses, right? Right. And in that game, I really liked the characters, and I actually liked their writing. Okay. Interesting. In Engage,
Nokia engage.
Of course.
The characters are okay. The story's stupid. And I don't like the writing that much. The only thing I actually like is the actual like game mechanics itself.
I mean, that's the most important part of the game, to be fair.
Right. But I really wish I had a better story because a lot of times I'm sitting there, I'm like, can I just get to the next battle so this stupid story can go? Like,
What? Okay, so what is the story?
so it's a great question. So you are a Lear, okay, and
All
you are
right.
a divine dragon.
Off to a
And
great
at the
start.
beginning of the game, your mom is the queen, and she's also a divine dragon.
Off to a great start.
And there is a what's the word? I think a fell. There's fell dragons who are evil dragons,
Okay.
and which this is all just actual Fire Emblem lore. So in this area of the Fire Emblem world that you're in, this continent, you had a battle 1,000 years ago against a fell dragon. And I guess in that battle, you had all these rings that somehow have the spirits of past Fire Emblem characters, which has still not been explained how that happens.
Are they like Sonic rings? You get them and you don't die?
No, they're like just a ring you wear in your finger.
Oh, like okay, like Tears of the Kingdom when you beat a boss. All right, makes sense.
Sure, yeah, and you can give them to your different characters in your party, and you can only wear one. And each one has like basically a different spirit. I think they're called. Is it tokens? No. I'm blanking on what they actually call them in the game. Sorry, I'm just gonna call them spirits. I'm gonna be so mad at myself once we're done with the podcast.
Oh, it's gonna hit you when as soon as you hit end, it's gonna hit you.
As you're asleep for 1,000 years, a fell dragon attacks again. There's these things called the corrupted, which is just basically zombies. Think zombies.
I do love zombies.
And there's zombies that can fight with like weapons and you know all the stuff you have in Fire Emblem. And then your mom, you wake up after 1,000 years.
No, wait, you say your mom?
No, so your character Alear wakes up after 1,000 years.
No, you didn't say your mom.
Your mom's very happy.
I think you meant to say like, my mom. Anyway, continue.
And you know, you kind of talk with her. You're really happy. Then a fell dragon comes, or someone working for them. They kill your mom. And then you're on a quest to get all the rings back so you can defeat the fell dragon. And then you get betrayed by someone, and then they take all the rings, and then you have to go find them again. And
how much of this is anime bullshit?
Oh, well, okay, so all of it.
Okay.
But at least in Three Houses, I thought it was a lot more engaging story.
He'll be here all week, folks.
I will. Because I live here. So.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, nothing's ever going to top Fire Emblem Awakening. I think that's basically where the series peaked.
I should play Awakening.
It's the best one. It's really, really good.
What was it on?
3DS.
Okay. I still got my 3DS. I could charge it up. Or
the only thing is you can't access the eShop anymore, so you have to get a physical copy.
Pretty sure I did have a physical copy.
Then you should be fine. You should be good.
And if not, I mean, I guess I'll see if there's a way I can emulate it on my Mac. So,
well, Mac is the best way to emulate.
That's true.
I don't know if you know that.
That's true.
PC,
that is very true.
Terrible. Mac, way to go.
Mac's all the way, man. Mac attack.
Speaking of Mac, Link was once nicknamed Mac in my head. And Link is the main character of Tears of the Kingdom. And I really want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom again before we get too far away from it. Okay. The game is fantastic. I love the little ways that you can just build anything. Like there's this one meme going around the internet of a guy building a giant person and he has a cock coming out from under him.
Oh, and it like catches on fire, right?
It catches on fire and explodes. Yeah. It's really funny.
I've seen that.
And there's a lot of great stuff like that. But I really wish they worked on the mechanics on how to build a little more. Because if you don't get it pixel fucking perfect, it is like one of those very like frustrating things where it takes forever to build because you can't get it just exactly where you need to get it. And if one thing's off, you got to undo it and start again. You don't have to start the whole thing over again, granted, but it's still annoying to have to like wiggle it around like that. I wish there was just like an easier way to automatically connect everything, but I'm sure that'll maybe get upgraded as the game goes on, but we'll see what happens. Also, I wish the story was better. Like every time I play a Zelda game, I'm like, game's great, characters are great, story is just the same shit over and over again. Like I really wish they just mix it up.
That can't be true though, Chris. That can't be.
Why is that?
Because again, Nintendo will never make a game unless there's something new.
Well, there is something new. It's just that the story isn't it.
Well, okay. In their defense, no one's ever made a crafting building game before.
That's true. No one. They've never tried it. They've never tried it,
and it's never been in any of their other IPs either. So
that's a really good point. I apologize to Nintendo for calling you out like that unnecessarily. I only hope one day they can forgive me.
That's rude.
Bart Simpson, rude.
I thought I got it. I still don't.
Maybe next time.
Hopefully next time.
So I'm going around and doing a lot of the side quests, and the side quests are a lot of fun to do. When I do the main quests, I did the first main quest, and by the time you beat the boss, you're given this story about how the person that helped you out is secretly like a super important character that's supposed to help you in the final Calamity Ganon boss that you're supposed to fight. And then I got to the second boss fight, and the cutscene was almost exactly the same thing. So nice. I'm assuming they're doing this because they have to catch you up to speed. If you don't, like, because you choose the order that you want to tackle these in. And if you're not caught up to speed, you'll be so lost if you do them out of order. So they have to tell you exactly the same thing every time you go to beat the boss. And it's like, I completely zone out whenever I get to those cutscenes.
Interesting. Okay. So out of curiosity, which Zelda stories did you actually like?
I know this is going to sound controversial, but I really liked Skyward Sword. That one was my favorite story.
2 minutes. Penalty box right now.
All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
2 minute minor, man. Come on. I mean, Skyward Sword. Yeah, it had a great little flimsy, gimmicky, one-trick pony motion control thing with the sword on the Wii. I get it. And then they remastered it again for the Switch. And guess who bought it? No one except for Chris. He bought every single copy. I mean, come on, man. You're really going to sit there and say Skyward Sword? Skyward Sword. What? You're in a floating little islands in the sky. It's Wind Waker without the sailing. Okay? And I loved Wind Waker to death. Wind Waker is great. But Skyward Sword? I mean, you got... I can't even name anything, man. I really can't. And that is just how awful Skyward Sword was, honestly. I'm very surprised Chris went with that. Actually, okay, low-key, I'm not. I've known for a long time that Chris loves Skyward Sword. And I'm sure he can give you all his amazing, great reasons for it. And it probably has to do with like controls and how it's such a cool story. And it's a different side of Link that we've never seen before. And all that jazz. But
the ref let me out of the penalty box.
All right, go ahead. So, you know, you can tell the listeners why.
I mean, I assume you already did it because, you know, you're my best friend, and I know you would back me up on that.
Yeah,
well, I'm just gonna take your word for it that you did it all for me.
No, I did.
Yeah,
I did do it for you.
But I know you never lie to me.
But just in case they weren't paying attention, why would you?
Well, I mean, again, I trust you. I feel like you said it in such an engrossing fashion that they would pay attention no matter what.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah, if you say so. Yeah, exactly.
So what other Zelda stories?
Well, I would say Ocarina of Time because they did it first. Like it was the first one. That was the first one to have like this grand adventure with the princess, as opposed to it just being like 2D sprites. And it felt more fleshed out. The world felt more fleshed out. It did. Twilight Princess tried something different with Midna, and didn't really quite work.
They were all in on that mid-2000s edgy emo phase, you know?
Well, I liked that. It was a more realistic Zelda. That's what I liked about Twilight Princess. I did not like her as a character. because I just kind of found her annoying, and I also I didn't really like playing as Wolf Link all that much. I just wish they let you play as regular Link.
Did it remind you too much of Spider-Man 3?
Fuck your Spider-Man crap.
With emo Tobey Maguire?
You mean Bully Maguire?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of, even though Twilight Princess came out first.
They knew.
Although I have a lot of fond memories of Twilight Princess because we played it together. So it's one of my favorite Zeldas just for that. Although here's a good question for you.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine reach out to me the other day and say,
okay,
hey, Chris, I know you're a video game expert. You're the greatest video game player of all time. I need video game expert advice. I'm trying to get into The Legend of Zelda, and I don't know where to start. Where do you recommend I start? And I told him. What does
your friend have?
He has a 3DS and he has the Switch.
Okay. So what'd you tell him?
And I told him, have you played Breath of the Wild? And he said, I'm playing it right now and I'm trying to finish it. And I said, good. That's a good starting point. That is probably the best game to play if you haven't played a Zelda game before. So you're off to a good start. And then he asked me, okay, but when I'm done with this, where do I go from there? And I said, that's a great question. Let me think about it. So what is the best place to go with Zelda after you beat Breath of the Wild?
Tears of the Kingdom. Just because if you go backwards to any other Zelda game, it's not going to feel nearly as great.
You think so? I don't know about that.
I think so.
Really?
I guarantee you, if you go back to Ocarina of Time, you'll probably be more frustrated than anything.
I played Ocarina of Time after I beat Breath of the Wild. I still like it.
Right, but that's because, okay, I'm saying if you've never played Ocarina of Time before, and your first experience is Breath of the Wild, I don't think going back, I don't think you're going to like it.
I don't necessarily think that's true. I think you could probably... Do you think that's the same with any other Zelda game or just Ocarina of Time?
I don't think he would like Wind Waker.
Too much water? 7 out of 10?
7.8.
7.8 out of 10, too much water.
Okay. Too much water.
I agree. That's why I didn't like Wind Waker. Too much water.
He would love Skyward Sword because you love Skyward Sword.
Because it's the best one. And again, you gave them the reasons why I love it.
I did. No, I did. I did give them the reasons why. And now everyone knows why it is the best. I also don't think Twilight Princess. I don't think you would like that much.
I think if you like Twilight Princess, you'll probably like Ocarina of Time because they're almost exactly the same game.
I agree. I'd much rather pick Ocarina of Time, but
what about
you limited to 3DS? So.
What about A Link to the Past, like the more 2D Zelda games?
Maybe. I'm just trying to think in my mind, like if you're going from like a super open world.
Well, let's not forget the original Zelda on NES was technically open world.
No, but I'm saying like you're going from a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess more in-depth open world. It feels a little bit more alive. There's a lot more to do, you know, a lot more kind of random fun events to go around. You can fully explore. You don't have to go from this temple to that temple to unlock this temple, you know, like.
I see what you're saying. Although speaking of which, did you know that they made an NES version of Breath of the Wild before they went into full production of Breath of the Wild?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they fleshed out a version they wanted to see of Breath of the Wild on the NES to make sure it would fundamentally work with Zelda. And then when they finished that, then they went into full production with the actual game, which you would know really cool. If you followed the Game Boys on TikTok. Go to www.tiktok.com or download the app. I'm sure the app is easier. And go to Game Boys, GAMEBOIZ, but put a the in front of it. The Game Boys, THEGAMEBOIZ, and follow all our TikToks. We have all the latest and greatest information on Zelda, Mario, whatever video game you want. We got it there. TikTok, Game Boys, now. Anyway, yeah, so Legend of Zelda, I feel like there are games you can jump into after Breath of the Wild because I feel like you can't just not go backwards. Like there has to be games you can play after Breath of the Wild. Like it doesn't just the buck can't stop there.
I guess the way I think about it is, and I've seen this a lot on Elder Scrolls Reddit, but a lot of people can't go from Skyrim to Oblivion.
But what if you mod Oblivion? Like you update the graphics?
Okay, but your friend's not going to be able to mod the older Zelda.
I'm not talking about Oblivion. I'm just talking about like, well, you could technically because Wind Waker, you could get the HD version of that, get a Wii U.
You could. I mean, is your friend going to get a Wii U?
Probably not. But what if hear me out. What if I loaned him a copy and then he put that copy onto his computer? And then he could do whatever he wanted.
You own it. You can put it on your computer, but he doesn't.
But I'm giving it to him as a gift. Now
so
he owns
gifting it to him.
I'm gifting it to him. Now he owns it.
Okay. So in common law property, as long as you gift it to him and he doesn't expressly say no, it's implied acceptance for gifts, in which case it is his property.
And in that case, he can put it onto his PC and save a copy of it and then even play it at 8K, 120 frames a second if he really wants to.
Exactly.
But
only if he has the Mac.
Which only if he has the Mac.
Only if he has
very important to note. And just as a side note, I genuinely cannot get over the fact that if you get a copy of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom illegally, you can play it at better specs than on the Switch. Which is hilarious on so many levels.
So this kind of gets me into something else that I've been thinking of for a while. And the speculations are already running wild. But when is Nintendo going to come out or refresh this console or come out with a new one?
I was going to say never, but then the Steam Deck came out. And I think the Steam Deck is probably going to light a fire into Nintendo's ass.
Mm-hmm. And the Asus, what's the name of the Asus one?
The Asus.
The Asus ROG something.
The Asus RGB computer.
Hold on, I'll look.
I don't know what it's called, but again, I don't think that's going to overtake the Steam Deck in terms of
Ally.
The
ROG Ally.
I just don't think it's going to overtake the Steam Deck in terms of units moved. I think the Steam Deck is probably going to be the gold standard now, but that's just me.
I mean, it might
because
not.
the X button being stuck is a huge problem with that.
Yeah, I don't know how you go through all that product testing and you don't pick up on that.
Or maybe they did pick up on it and they just thought it's just cheaper to release it now and then fix it in another version.
Okay, but unless they're so strapped for cash, which I don't think Asus is, that wouldn't you much rather wait so you have better long-term gains than a short-term gain?
Mike, what you're doing right now is thinking in terms of a consumer. You're not thinking in terms of product developer, which is just get it the fuck out there.
All right, man.
Think about it like that.
You say so.
Think about it like that.
But Linus did love his Ally.
Even though all he did was shit on it, he recommended it at the end. And so I don't understand that at all.
Well, he had some good things to say about it, then he had some bad things to say about it.
The bad things took up like 80% of the video.
Hey, man. It's LTT. He can do what he wants. Literally.
LTTstore.com/truth.
That's true. Just like our segue to this week's sponsor now.
Yeah, I wish.
I do too. I do too, man.
Our sponsor is ourselves.
It is. It is ourselves. I really hope just one day we will get a legitimate sponsor. It'd be so cool.
We will. It's just if we keep going at this, it's going to happen eventually. Maybe.
How close do you think we are to the partner program?
We're about a third of the way there.
Although, with all of our cursing, would they really want to sponsor us?
Fuck them. Think about it like that.
Ah, fuck. Shit. Damn.
I mean, have you ever watched The Angry Fucking Video Game Nerd?
Nah, man. I've not. I've not seen one iota of that shit.
Then fuck it, man. That guy curses every other sentence. So fuck it. Anything's possible.
Damn, you serious?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, shit, dude. Now I feel like a douchebag.
Fucking A.
Right?
C-word.
Asshat.
Poopy
Dick.
head.
No, that too.
Dick in my balls.
What about dick on top of your balls?
I've tried that before. It's okay. Not great.
All right.
Would not recommend.
Speaking of dick, Did you know the Magic got the number 6 and number 11 pick in the NBA draft?
That's a dick move. And no, I
It-
did not hear about that.
One of the players they're expected to draft, I kid you not, his name is Grayson, last name Dick.
So he's fucking Robin.
And I'm praying. Is that his name? Hold on, let me make sure that's his name.
Is that
I know
really
his
his
last
name?
name's
Dick
Dick,
Grayson? Because that's the most amazing name ever of all time. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic.
hold on.
Orlando Magic. Whoa.
Let me
Orlando
make
Magic.
sure.
Orlando
So-
Magic. They're gonna get you. Do. Wait, so how did they get number 6 and number 11? Who did they trade for to get that pick?
So a couple years ago, they traded away Nikola Vucevic to the Grady Dick. Sorry, not Grayson. Grady Dick is his
God
name.
damn it.
University of Kansas, Grady Dick.
Not nearly as fun as I thought it would be. I hate the Magic
No,
now.
but still, the last name Dick. Come on.
I wanted to be
Do you know
Dick
how
Grayson.
great that would be?
It's just a jersey with the name Dick on
Uh-huh. Yeah.
it.
It would just say Dick on the back. It's great.
That's funny. That's funny. But anyway, the Magic.
yes.
How are they relevant?
So a couple years ago, they traded away their center, Nikola Vucevic, to
Nikola
the
Tesla.
Chicago Bulls.
To the Bulls, Michael Jordan Bulls. All
Yeah.
right.
And as long as the Bulls fell out of the top 4 this year, which they did, we got their pick. So their pick was number 11, so we got it.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck
Fun
the
fact,
Bulls.
2 years ago, their draft pick led to Franz Wagner, who is probably tied for the best player on the Magic team. So
Really? Okay. I thought Paolo was the best player on the Magic team.
that's why I said tied for best player on the team.
I thought he was
His
far and
Franz is
away the
great
best
too.
player. So the Magic have a lot of young talent, young aspiring talent.
Yes, they
Gotcha.
do. Very young core.
Okay. And number 6 and number 11? They're expected to be very good too, or just whatever.
Not really. So this draft is really about the top maybe 3 players, particularly the number 1 player, who is being dubbed the greatest prospect since LeBron James. Just saying.
I've heard that so many times from all other sports for everything.
Victor Wembanyama is the guy's name. He's from France. And the San Antonio Spurs got that pick today. So,
Well, it'd be exciting to watch the San Antonio Spurs just kick everyone's ass again, because it totally didn't get boring after a while.
no, not at all. Not at all. And an old dynasty keeps on living.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
You love to
Gotta
see it. You
hate.
always love to see it.
On a side note, gotta hate the Knicks. Fuck the Knicks.
Yeah, well, the Knicks are going to Knicks, man.
Knicks are gonna Knicks you out of the playoffs.
They really are. They really are.
And they really are, and they always will.
So I have a question, Chris.
Shoot.
I've been wanting to get in to VR gaming, right?
You should get into the VR gaming.
Now,
Go in balls deep.
granted, I have a Mac, all right?
Unfortunate.
And I got my PlayStation, all right?
course.
So, I mean, I could do PlayStation VR. I know they're supposed to come out with PlayStation VR 2 sometime. I don't know when.
That came out already.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it came out in February, dude.
I've heard nothing about it.
Because they only sold half the units they expected to.
So basically, they're not going to support PlayStation VR anymore.
It doesn't seem like it. They still have games coming down the pipeline, but I highly doubt that they're going to go as hard onto it as they wanted to. It's funny. If you sell an accessory that's more expensive than the console, people might be put off by it. That's crazy. I know.
Just
Call me nuts.
So I was wondering if, well, I mean, I know you have your PC. So let's just add a gaming PC in there just for fun.
Just for the lulz.
So between all that, obviously PlayStation's is out. I don't think the Mac's going to support anything VR wise.
Well, it'll support your desire to give them money. But that's not really VR. That's just R.
That's true. That's straight up R for robbery.
Kick their ass.
So I guess you got the Oculus Quest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is HTC still making their VR?
The Vive?
Yeah.
They just came out with a new headset for it. So yeah, they're still making that.
And then you got the Steam, Valve,
The Valve Index.
Valve Index, right?
Valve Index.
So I'm just wondering if you had any recommendations if I ever got into VR gaming down the line.
I would say the Quest, honestly,
Interesting.
because you don't need sensors to put up in your room. It just records everything through the headset, and you don't even need a computer. You can play games on it without even attaching it to anything. But
Oh shit!
I do use it with my computer, and I'm able to play like Half-Life Alyx with it, and it's awesome.
Damn. Okay.
I would say wait till the Quest 3 though, because they're probably going to announce that sometime this year, if not next year.
Okay.
And the specs for that are supposed to be way better than the Quest 2, so I would wait on that.
Okay.
See what happens.
Okay. Because I've been very interested in the Valve Index one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been interested since it got announced, since it released and all that. It just seems so cool.
It looks great. But Valve is also working on another new headset called the Deckard. And they haven't released anything official about that yet, but rumors are that they're going to announce it again sometime in the near future. But it's Valve, so who really the fuck knows? But I love VR gaming. I just wish that more games came out for VR because I feel like I played all the good ones already. If you're going to get one, get a Quest. I'd say the Quest is, for price to performance, it's the best option.
I really wonder, though, because VR was such a huge thing for a good while, then it kind of just stopped.
Well, because Facebook kept buying all the developers. And
I guess that's true, man.
And no good games came out for it because so what happened was Facebook bought all these developers, and they used to make games on 2-year cycles. Then they said, fuck that, we're going to make games on 3-year cycles. And now we're in the spot in time where that gap is showing, and the games that are supposed to come out are coming out next year, not this year.
Interesting.
So I would expect to hear a lot more about virtual reality next year than this year.
I hope so, man. It was exciting. And unfortunately, I feel like AI took the spotlight from VR.
Yeah, it did. Have you seen the Skyrim VR mods where they put AI into the game?
No.
So you can sit down and have an actual conversation in VR with an NPC, and they will talk to you. It's fucking crazy. Like, obviously, like some of the technology is kind of janky. Like, you have to ask it kind of specific questions. Like, oh, how was your day today? And they'll give you like genuine responses. It's really fascinating stuff. That's the future. That's what the future is going to be.
That is really cool. So it's like a chat GPT-4 like type of NPC? Like
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's chat GPT that you can activate with your voice for NPCs.
That's crazy, dude.
Speaking of chat GPT, I'm a fan of chat GPT. Are you a fan of chat GPT, Mike?
I am. In fact, in our last episode, we had a chat GPT E3 press conference.
That's right. And it went about as well as you would expect it to.
Yeah, I'd agree. But
this time shall be different. This time I'm going to read the whole thing. So I don't have to send you anything and get it all mixed up out of order. And also this time, let me ask you this, Mike.
Yes.
We were talking about Zelda a little while ago, right?
Yes, I believe we were.
You a fan? You like Zelda? You played a Zelda game or two?
I do. I do like Zelda, man. It's a good game.
How would you feel if Zelda and Jerry Seinfeld got together and did a stand-up routine?
Well, one doesn't talk and the other talks nonstop, so might average out to an average person.
Well, Zelda talks, first of all.
Right. Jerry Seinfeld's the one who never talks.
Jerry Seinfeld's always quiet. He's never said a word in his entire career.
Yeah, but that's why I think they
Let me ask
you,
out. What do you think a Jerry Seinfeld stand-up routine would sound like if he was talking about The Legend of Zelda?
Link, he's always talking. What's the deal with that?
Well, you're not far off. Let's find out what ChatGPT thinks a Jerry Seinfeld stand-up routine would sound like.
Wait.
If he was talking strictly about The Legend of Zelda.
All right, hold on.
I'm waiting for the cue. Thank you. Jerry Seinfeld. This is Jerry Seinfeld, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate that. So I got to talk to you about something that's been bugging me for a while now. The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, that's right. The video game. I don't get it. I mean, what's the deal with that little green guy in the tunic? You know, You turn the game on, and there he is, Link, or as I like to call him, Elf with a Sword. I mean, come on. Can we get a more creative name? Legend of Zelda. It sounds more like a Broadway show about a woman who collects antique plates. And then you got this princess, Princess Zelda. Now let me get this straight. The game is called The Legend of Zelda, but you don't even play as Zelda? You play as the little green guy running around like he's late for a fairy convention? What's up with that? Shouldn't the game be called The Legend of Link or something? But here's the thing that really baffles me. You start the game, and what's the first thing you got to do? You got to go find a wooden sword. Yeah, a wooden sword. I mean, isn't that like fighting crime with a toothpick? How intimidating is that? I picture the bad guys just laughing at you, going, hey, look, it's Link, the mighty hero with the deadly twig. And then there's all these puzzles. I mean, they're everywhere. You're walking through a forest, and suddenly you come across a door. But guess what? You can't open it because you need a key. So what do? You start smashing every pot in sight, hoping that one of them has a hidden key inside. I mean, is this a game or a pot breaking simulator? What's the deal with that? And don't get me started on these rupees. I mean, what's the deal with rupees? They're like the currency in the game, but they look like the glowing jelly little beans. But they look like glowing jelly. Yes, I don't know about you, but if I was in Hyrule, I'd be walking around with a wallet full of jelly beans. Talk about a sugar rush. But you know what's really frustrating? Those damn chickens. You accidentally hit one, and suddenly you're being chased around by an angry mob of chickens. It's like they have a chicken alarm system or something. You know, you hit one chicken, and the whole coop goes berserk. It's like the chicken version of the mafia. You mess with one of ours, and you mess with all of ours. It said ours in there specifically. I didn't just make that up.
That's great.
And let's not forget about those dungeons. They're like mazes with monsters. You're walking around trying to find your way, and suddenly you're face to face with a giant spider or a fire-breathing dragon. I mean, who needs this stress? I thought video games were supposed to be relaxing. Next thing you know, I'll be playing a game called Legend of Stress and Anxiety. But hey, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's a deep philosophical meaning behind it all. Or maybe it's just a bunch of elves and chickens running around in a video game. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, The Legend of Zelda is definitely a legend in its own right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You have a good night. Let it play out. Let it play out.
The Seinfeld show was filmed from their life.